Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of The Dinosaur and the Dude, the only podcast with the shittiest audio but the most amazing content. Thank you all for tuning in to listen wherever you are and however you're accessing us. We appreciate your time and we appreciate your interest in us. So sit back and relax, or if you're driving, enjoy the ride as you listen to another amazing episode.
And then it's just that I'm just entirely too fucking high right now. So
Oh.
maybe next time I should just not do, maybe,
You're just so you're saying you're too fucking high
I'm too
right
high
now.
right now to have a thought process. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes.
Well, you figure out that thought process, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say, hey, thanks everybody for joining us today as we start off episode number 28 of The Dinosaur and the Dude. Thanks for everybody for joining. If you're starting from the beginning of it, great. If you happen to pop in a little bit later because you were, doing something creative in the kitchen, okay, cool.
We're sorry.
But in no case should I go any further without letting everybody know it's the dinosaur,
That's me.
and I'm the dude. And here we go. Starting off where we left off from episode 27, we had a few things that we talked about that we were going to, discuss this episode. And then one of the things that we missed, we kind of ran out of time on the last episode. So
It always gets pushed to the back, doesn't it?
Right. So I guess maybe, I don't know. I guess we start off with what we missed out on last episode.
Yeah, go on.
Kind of disjointed, but I'll try it.
Do it. You're gonna either sound like a hero or a complete asshole.
No, hero, because I'm either a hero or a dick. So, it was, I think, the one thing that we were looking at discussing, because I had looked into it a little bit, was in regards to psychedelics and the elderly. And
now, I've looked it up too a little bit because I'm trying to plan for the future.
Right. Okay. And so before we get further with that, please note that everything that we say, we have absolutely nothing in our repertoires that gives us a license or credibility as the ones that should be saying, doing, or preaching or evangelizing about any of the things that we talk about.
We don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that we figure out, we find out on the Google, and the Google helps out.
The intertubes.
And the Google helps out and helps us figure out what we need to do, say, and how we can, apply whatever information we find. And we just get on here and share. And that's what this whole podcast is about. It's just the dinosaur and I talking amongst ourselves and giving you all, and giving you all the ability to hear what we're talking about. So everything's scripted.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, everything is unscripted. Everything is just how we feel, and the next episode we might be like, hey, I thought it over, and I was completely
we
off.
could change our minds. We don't have no idea what we're talking about.
Whatever. I mean, one ply is great. One ply is great, and the next thing you know, you love 2-ply toilet paper. Who the fuck knows?
Right, or you get the 3-ply.
Yeah,
and only put it out when company's there.
Yeah, because you want them to,
think that we got it going on.
Well, you want them to think that you care about their asshole. So there's all of that.
Exactly.
There's all of that.
So back to the elderly.
Yeah, so elderly and psychedelics. I looked into it, and it was like a little bit of it was kind of like the lucid dream list, but it was some cases it's really good, or it's been found to have good effects or good results, and in other cases it was like, no, do not
I can see it either way.
Yeah,
really. I think the person go ahead.
I think it depends on their condition.
Sure. And if the person's aware enough to be able to make decisions for themselves, because if they are, and they want to do some shrooms, then fucking give them some shrooms. Just keep them safe. But
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. I think it also depends on how in a different mindset they are, period. If they're
that's
like in the
fair.
latter stages of dementia, then they're already kind of like experiencing things that are, off in a way, and not really not really making sense anyway. So now if you add psychedelics to it, now they've got fairies too, you know? And it's like you didn't
They're
understand what they were talking about.
real.
Yeah, you didn't
You're
understand
like,
what they were talking about at all.
sure,
Right,
whatever.
right. And I've heard, because like we've gone over before, I have not partaken in any kind of drugs, but
Me neither.
but um I've heard that it can have lingering effects, like days later you could still be going through the effects of it. And so you've got you got an elderly person that's already on a array of medications, and you add a psychedelic to it, and they are just in love with conversations they're having with their new fairy friend that neither of you could see.
Yikes.
Um, so
Like, this is Michael.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
yeah. He's a fairy, but he has a common name, so he's progressive. Don't worry about Michael. He's legit. He
Do you
hates
think
that
that the
he's
paranormal go after the elderly as well?
man. Okay, see, that was another thing that we were going to talk about when
It
we were
just
just
slid
starting.
right in there. It felt so good.
Yeah, yeah, no, as it does,
It was natural.
as it does. Yeah. So, and I'm bookmarking that because I think we should talk about that a little bit too, because so here's the thing with all of that that gets me wondering across the board. Back to what we were talking about 26, I think the brain is completely uncharted territory. I think we know a
Hmm.
little bit more about the brain than we do the ocean.
We know
Um,
just enough to realize that we don't know anything.
yeah, we know enough that like we go, ah, damn. Now everything that I thought I knew is shit. I just
God,
realized this. There's a part of the brain we don't even know how to turn on. What the fuck's going
truly.
on? Why is that there? There's a part of the brain that's sort of like just not even not even registering. Like it's just
Right. It's not even
it
it's not even wired right
it
yet.
hates the race. It hates the rest of the brain. It just doesn't even come on. So why is that there? So there's big question marks in that. But like we were talking about with dreams, I think the brain is so powerful that once it decides, okay, I don't have to move my meat puppet around
Yikes. What's
for
a
any
meat?
part of
What's a
for
fucking
any
meat puppet?
yeah, I don't have to move it around. So let me just shut it down, and then I've got all of that focus and power. I can, do my own thing, and we experience that as
Oh, I got
dreams.
it. Meat
Um,
puppet. Okay, I get
yeah,
it now.
us. Um, so if that's how dreams are, it's just the brain on going, and I get it. That's the most rudimentary way of thinking of it. If that's how dreams are, with the brain just doing its thing, unattached to our consciousness, kind of thing,
Just
making us do
leveling
our
up.
daily. Yeah, then imagine that shit without rationale or logic, and it's just like memories and time are all merging as one, and you're not able to register that. And that's what I think like a lot of people with dementia and whatnot are experiencing, because their recognition of time is, well, and I'm only going off the experience with the elderly that I am with. Their recognition of time is not the same. Um, ready to go and then actually going are light years away, you know? You'd be like, "Oh,
Right.
yeah, I'm ready to go," and as soon as you stand up, what are you doing? What are you doing to me?" And it's
Right.
like,
I'm
"We're
not
going
going. We
now."
had that
Yeah,
conversation
we're
about
going.
your dad and your doctor's
Exactly.
appointment.
exactly.
Like, I'm not going in there.
We're about to
You
go.
go.
I
I'm
don't want.
not.
Yeah, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. I never said that. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Okay, great.
You start
So
clapping
yeah,
real hard, and then you go back. Hey, we're here. You ready to
right,
go? Like you just.
right, yeah, exactly. And so you're sitting there and you're like, okay, what if that's already happening and you're already talking to people that aren't here and you're already calling out for people that cannot hear you, what do psychedelics do? And the only thing I saw in the write-ups on it was the earlier the better in regards to use. The later on in dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, it's kind of a last days thing as opposed to a treatment.
Oh, for psychedelics.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, okay, just give it to them to make things as pleasant and,
But
rainbows
if
and
they have a bad
fairies.
trip, they're gonna think they're being attacked by
Right,
demons.
exactly. There's nothing that's guaranteeing
I
that trip
wouldn't
though.
give that to somebody if they've never had it. I wouldn't give it to them at the end of their life. Fuck no.
Yeah, it's like
Give them morphine or something, not
yeah,
that.
now you're sitting in the belly of a lava whale that just ingested you, and no one has anything to give you to
And they're all you
to
can hear is, "Should we give him more?"
yeah, right.
And
Is it
you're like, "No, he's full. I'm here." He's
yeah. And so they have this thing of where some studies are all about microdosing and saying, okay, if you give some psychedelic or LSD or something like that to an elderly person, you're microdosing it and they're getting some benefits of without heavy experience related to the tripping, well,
Mhm.
the stereotypical tripping, then that's shown some benefits, but at the same time, it's like, to what end? You know, to to what end are these benefits, and do you up it to some point, and if so, when? And it's just a lot of question marks with it. I think that honestly, if your elderly person hasn't been using psychedelics prior, I I don't know what the benefits are.
Right. I mean, because you could be torturing them.
Yeah, like
And
if
at that
like
point, just give them. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah, I mean, like if you knew Grandpa Tony, Grandpa Tony loves ayahuasca, and he loves,
Well, and sometimes it's religious, not in our families, but in, like indigenous peoples, they've
yeah,
got certain, and
right,
if they do stuff like that, then it's a ritual, like
yeah,
that you
yeah.
do. And when you're old, you don't stop those rituals, do you? I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
no, no, but to your point is what I'm saying though. They've already been doing it. It's already been a part of their life,
Hmm.
and like I was
You know what they're like.
saying with yeah, like I was saying with my shitty example, if Grandpa Tony is wanting to do it and he's been experimenting with psychedelics prior, he started off in his 20s and here he is 88. Yeah, chances are he's probably still going to be doing it. And chances are extremely high that he'll be experienced enough to know how to do it. Hey, I'm still having a bad trip, and or something to that effect.
Right.
But if you start off at 86, ugh,
There's a lot
uh,
of unknowns.
yeah,
I mean, because who knows? Maybe your trip is that you just like to get up and dance. Well,
yeah,
if you're a
who
fall risk, you can't do
knows?
that.
Right, who knows? And who even knows if they're capable of articulating what they're experiencing?
Oh, true.
They might just be like, "What the fuck is happening?
Right.
I'm
That all
constantly
being said,
falling
I
down the
will
line."
say,
Mhm.
um, I do not think that marijuana would classify on the no list.
Yeah, I think you're right with that.
You could introduce it like seriously tiny, minute,
Yeah,
see how they do.
yeah,
They say go low, go slow.
yeah, yeah.
So you
I
would want to start
I
them
can
off so
understand that.
slow.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that and appreciate that. I especially I I have been noticing that with his use of CBD, and it
Mhm.
without no THCs in it, but the just that being introduced into his system has done a huge turnaround. Like his physical therapist, like he's never been this engaged and interactive and
That's
responding
so
and
good.
talking, counting and reading and whatnot. And then you're like, yay, clapping. It's like, awesome, CBD is great. Yes. And then at the same time, you've got to realize there's another edge on that sword. And that means when he doesn't want to, or when he wants to tell you in so many words, fuck off, you have to realize that the cognitive amp that he's getting, so to speak,
Mhm.
or he, it also can be used to project exactly what he's feeling at that time. You know, he
Right.
doesn't. I don't want to talk to you, so I'm not going to participate, and I don't want to do this. No, this, and so a lot of
But
the.
I was
Uh-huh.
gonna say earlier, and it matters to this as well, or resonates or whatever. Um, when you smoke, when you smoke marijuana, you
Hmm.
kind of get like a relaxed.
Right.
I've never heard of anybody smoking marijuana and like losing their shit,
Hmm.
unless it's laced with something, or if they've
Right.
been
Right. Right.
drinking alcohol.
Right.
Um, Maybe I just have a really awesome and positive experience with it, and have never encountered anybody like that. But you know, I don't know that people go on ragers from smoking marijuana.
No, you're
So
right.
you're safer to try it with that than a psychedelic.
Yeah, 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 absolutely right. And it's funny because some of the doctors that I've talked to, they look at me as soon as I say CBD because a lot of people associate the two together and then
Sure.
think, "Oh, you're doing T," and I'll say, "There's no T." And as soon as I say that, they'll just look at me and they go, "It's okay. Yeah, whatever, whenever, if
I'm
that
like,
helps."
fucking, how old is your dad?
Right? It's his
Yeah,
70s,
no, really,
right?
70s. I mean, my dad is 70 whatever years old. If he wants to smoke some fucking weed, guess what? He going to.
But
Okay.
it's but it well, but it's what makes that conversation interesting is that when talking to doctors about it, none of them can tell you, none of them can give you the thumbs up. None of them can say,
Right.
"Hey, okay." So they all have to go like they all give me this stare where it's sort of like I'm now
This is the
telepathic.
obligatory. I'm telling you, I can't say anything, but I really want to say
Right.
something, but I'm not saying it.
Exactly. It's like I'm telepathically
My
telling
doctors just
you.
go, that's fine. Or like, I don't care. Or
I'm
whatever.
telepathically
Yeah.
telling you if you need a stash, let me know. It's like this is staring at me,
Like,
and
oh
then
hell
this
yeah, give me some of that medicinal shit.
right, they're staring at me, and it's like if that helps him be comfortable at this point, whatever he needs to be comfortable, I'm okay with that.
And
It's
he
like
prefers
okay,
to
I get it.
intake it coming out of my mouth. So I need to
Yes,
smoke it first and then gently blow it into his face so
right,
he doesn't
right,
overdo it.
yeah.
I'm
As
a
long as you,
giver.
as long as you shotgun, it's okay. No, It's funny because they all look at me that way. They all look at and then I'll tell them, it's like, "Well, there's no THC in the CBD." "Oh, okay, well, again, if it helps them to be
That's
comfortable,
wonderful.
go right ahead."
Right.
Um, a side note with that, I think we've talked about it before, but I like to always just make sure that people understand this, that a lot of times your doctor is not gonna say they want, um, your loved one or whoever you're caring for to have CBD or marijuana. And I can only specifically from my own experience speak on CBD. Um, they a lot of doctors, I think you and I talked about this when we were talking about pharmaceutical versus holistic medicine and holistic
Oh,
remedies.
natural.
Um, they will drag their feet a lot before they tell
Yeah.
you it's okay.
because they
they
are
will,
being told it's not approved by the FDA. I mean,
right. Well,
in
there's that.
well, it's a well, I guess is
It
it?
there, yeah, it's
But it's only legal in some states.
right, and it's approved. You could have the THC, but you gotta have it under a certain percentage, like under 3%, and in some states under 2, and in some states under 1, and in others 0 across the board. So we've only been using 0% THC because one, honestly, I don't want my dad.
He'll be like,
I don't.
son,
I
go get me
do.
the
I
ho hos. No,
yeah,
what I
I
meant to
do
say
not.
was Doritos. No, I needed
I,
some crackers. I didn't ask for this. Where's my lemonade?
exactly. I don't know if I'm ready. He might. I don't know if I'm ready for
He'll be
him
getting the
to
munchies
be.
as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like,
Oh
there was this
Jesus,
place back whenever I was little, and it was called Ray Ray's Chicken and
Jesus.
Ribs. I
Yeah,
need you to find that place and go there.
I don't know. But
I would go get him some chicken, some ribs, and I'd be like, I found it. Here it
in any
is.
case of the three, um, four of the four doctors and three doctors, one therapist, and one new doctor. Of all of those that I've talked to, they all drag their feet. I mean, the therapist was the only one right off the bat. It's like, oh yeah, that would be great if you could give them some. But the cardiologist, oh, okay, yeah. He's staring at me. The neurologist,
Mean mugging you.
I mean the neuro. No, he was like, oh yeah, and then you can do it. Like I want to say it, but I can't. The neurologist took the longest because that's exactly.
You stumped his brain.
Oh, she was no, she just knew like no, if he gets that, then a lot of the shit that I got him prescribed to, he doesn't have to really take that
Take
anymore.
anymore, right?
And she knew that, and so she played the ignore game and
Mm-hmm.
just wouldn't respond, wouldn't talk, and then finally she had her assistant call and say,
Oh,
"Oh yeah," she said it's okay, just that quick. Yeah, she said it's
right.
okay.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. And his
She's
general
like
physician,
mumbling it, like, no, she
yeah,
said it was okay.
yeah, his general physician retired to go smoke a fuckload of weed, I'm sure. And and the new general
That's what my
physician,
retirement looks like.
yeah, the new general physician, he was like, yeah, sure, that's great. But
Do
the
you stay away
benefits,
from fentanyl?
yeah, the benefits have been great. He's plateaued a couple of times, so
It'll happen.
yeah, and so he goes off of it for like 2 weeks to a month, so he could just sort of like reset his system. But
But that's the great thing with it is that that's okay.
right,
You can
exactly.
do
There's
that. If you come off
no
of a medication like a pharma med, you can
yes,
have some serious side effects.
yeah.
That's why
There's
I
no
got off of
withdrawals.
Klonopin. I
Yeah,
can't do it.
there's no withdrawals and weird shit happening. Well, I got black spots with my vision. I see black spots floating around. It's like there's
I
none
need to
of that
have the
shit.
weed. My
Yeah,
cataracts is
there's
coming
none of
back.
that shit, right? Um, so that touches on pharmaceuticals and psychedelics and all that kind of stuff for elderly. You did bring up something earlier that also touches on mental shit. Paranormal and elderly. Man,
Like, I wonder if they're more susceptible to like demon attacks and stuff. Or is it, dude, my thing is saying that it's going to sleep. I'm sorry, hold on.
your thing going to sleep?
My laptop is going to sleep.
Oh,
What the
okay, okay.
fuck?
Your thing, yeah, mine
Yeah,
will
the
do
thing
that
is
from
going
time
to
to time,
sleep.
so I gotta move my mouse and click
That's
sometimes.
okay. I'm back.
Um,
Jesus.
so this touches on one of my theories, and
I love
I'll
your
just throw it out
theories.
there.
Yeah, go on. Don't even
I'll just
apologize.
throw it
Just
out
go
there.
for it.
Like for me, uh, everybody knows my thing. Well, everybody that listens to the
Hello. If you're in the
podcast,
know, you're in the know.
what's going on with you people in India? So babies, I think, are susceptible,
Hmm.
and elderly, I think are susceptible because it's like that's when the brain is firing in such weirdness and it hasn't
That's when
really
you go between
put.
dimensions. You're coming into
Yeah,
the world or
you
you're going out. So why
right.
wouldn't something
It's
hold on to you?
so for me, I don't know if it's like paranormal, like possession kind of thing or prepping kind of thing because you got I've experienced elderly talking to people that are no longer here.
Right.
I don't know if that's like a prep thing. Hey,
But either
when
way
it's
it
your
is,
time thing.
it's there's a demon is something from a different dimension. Your ancestors that are coming back and, trying to guide the elderly onto the next stage, they're also it's also a energy from a different dimension. Whether they're the same dimension or not, it's still a dimension. So whether it be
Right.
good or bad or right before they pass or, like 6 months before they pass, it's still relevant. It's just um, we have more mercy and grace thinking that our ancestors are coming back for our loved ones.
Yeah, I think for me though, it's like the terms you were using. I don't want to necessarily say it's a demon per se, um, because one, I don't know. Two, um, it doesn't like demons or synonymous for possessions and whatnot.
Okay.
Whereas like loved ones are coming to help, or it's a caring kind of thing. I don't know one way or the other. All I know is, hey, I'm having to compete with your attention because you're talking to
Ooh,
this person, which I know is not here. Oh, but you're looking off to the right like they are, and you're saying, "Yeah, give me that," and you're passing notes to them and bullshit. And I'm like,
right.
can we just have this last bite of Activia and be done with this shit? Y- Y'all can go back to your conversation, Taylor Swift, but I need to go and do my, I feel like so it's so weird because you have those moments where
I
it's
never
just
thought about it that
full,
way.
it's like full committance to a conversation, and you're just like, fuck, I'm dealing with someone that's interacting with someone that's no longer in the plane dimension presence that I am.
You're so
Like
right.
it's
And I
fully,
know it's frustrating, but you got to
it's
kind of
full, but
laugh
it's
at the universe about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's fully there. They're fully there for them. And so, is it a demon tricking them just to get their attention off of what's helpful to them here? Maybe. Is it a loved one telling them how, hey, remember this time we used to go running down the street and play and, kick, and throwing rocks at houses? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All, all, all I know is to them, that's what they're doing. And it's, can someone say that's dementia? Is it paranormal? Is it I
Paranoia.
d yeah, I don't know because we're easy to lump it all into the condition.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And when people don't know things or understand things, we either shoot it or we categorize it.
Shoot it.
Yeah, if we
Shoot
don't know what the fuck it is, let's try and shoot that UFO down.
it.
After and this is after we've categorized it as a
Right.
UFO, and we wanna shoot it down so we can understand it better. No, that makes no sense. That whole sentence sounds bad. We're gonna
How about
sh
you observe it
we're
first and
gonna
then see maybe if it happens again? If it does, then start
we're gonna
making a plan.
yeah, we're gonna be violent towards it so we can learn from it.
Right. And
Well,
then we're going to
okay.
be toast.
Yeah, go do that with a beehive, see how that works. We're gonna be violent towards it so we can learn from it. Same thing applies, sir.
Fair.
You're gonna get you're gonna get stung the fuck with some galactic stingers. So I don't know how much of I don't know how much paranormal activity applies to elderly. I think that It's possible
Sure.
because I don't have a direct understanding of it. So if I don't have a direct understanding of anything, I say it's possible. I don't. I'm a, as we touched on the last episode, I'm kind of like a when it comes to believing and faith and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm gonna say it's, it's possible. I just don't. I don't have any of the
Right.
facts in front of me. I don't have anything other than someone with a collection plate telling me, "Give me tithe," or "You're not on Jesus's team." I don't.
Right.
So
Taking your badge away.
if yeah, if that's the rules, then I need more than that. So I always say it's possible. I don't have anything in there for me to really say definitively paranormal is at play. Now, if the motherfucker starts floating and doing some weird
I'll
shit,
ratchet strap his
like
ass down to the bed. Watch me.
if I wake up and he's crawling on the ceiling, then yeah, you're the first person I'm calling and say, hey, scratch all of that.
We need to update. You need to
Scratch.
do oats right now.
Yeah, right.
This is
You're gonna
breaking news.
that's when we're gonna have an oats publish, and it's just me running down the street. Hey yo, so fucking
This motherfucking demon was coming after my ass.
he's running on rooftops after me. Like some weird
Agile,
shit.
very
Like
agile.
what? Oh, he did drugs for the first time. That's what's
Right.
happening. Some shit like
Exactly.
that.
Okay, speaking, this is a good segue
Yeah,
of
yeah,
doing drugs and losing your shit and doing some stuff that is like superhuman or
right,
weird.
right.
The Killer Sally.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are we going into the
Yeah.
dinosaur reviews?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is supposed to be a double feature.
It
So
is.
do you want do you want so we got two.
Mm-hmm.
You looking at the Killer Sally, and I was looking at Joe Dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So did you look at Killer
I
Sally?
did.
Okay, I looked at Joe Dirt.
Yay.
So do you want to go first, or you want
Yeah, I would love.
me, and then
Sure, I will.
you will?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So, Killer Sally on Netflix. It was a 3-part miniseries, and it was about. Is this where you were talking about muscle mommies?
Yeah. This is when we
Okay, because
first
they
talked
didn't
about it.
refer to them as that, did they?
Right. That's what I was saying. It doesn't use that terminology, but the part of what I was saying was very was connecting the dots in that regard was that there was a subculture of mainly dudes. They only talked about dudes
Yeah.
that fell into what I was saying that some people like to be with women like that for sexual gratification or gratification in some regard, because even she was saying the sexual part wasn't really defined. It's just they just
He just
enjoyed
enjoyed
slash
it.
got off getting dominated, wrestled, and crushed in some
Yeah,
regards.
like
I
getting in a
find it hard.
chokehold or something.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that there
Wasn't
wasn't some
any, yeah,
sexual.
especially whenever they're like leg locked between their legs, right in between their
Yeah,
legs.
yeah,
And they're like
yeah. I mean,
suffocating. I mean, it's just
yeah,
weird. It's weird.
yeah.
And I
So
mean,
go ahead.
not to say like I'm I'm not trying to offend anybody, and if this is a trigger for you, then please understand.
It's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea, and that's fine. It's not my cup of tea either. Okay.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not that you're trying to offend anyone. It's just not your cup of tea. So it's hard to say, oh, yeah, I can see where
Right.
somebody would like, no,
Because sometimes I can't
I just
see
can't.
where.
Yeah, I can't. It's just like, I can't. I mean, a lot of, not a lot. Some dudes are into pegging. I'm,
You said
I'm,
a
I'm
lot,
not
like the
making that connection.
majority of the human race.
Right. Like I was about to come up with a stat real quick, like 48% of men between. Nah, I don't know, but some dudes do, and that's a bridge I can't connect. I can't like go, oh, I can see how. No,
Right. Right.
no, I don't. I don't, and there's nothing against
That.
people that like that. Whatever it is that you like is what you like.
Whatever
But
that
at the same
is.
time, yeah,
We
but
don't
at the
hate
same
that. We just
time,
don't know that.
Yes, exactly. I just don't. I can't fake it. I can't fake that funk enough to come off as genuinely saying I understand it and
Right.
or enjoy it.
Which goes back to the very first things that we said within the first
Hmm.
2 minutes
Oh
is that
yeah,
we don't know
absolutely.
shit.
That's why we say it. That's how I say it.
Yeah.
So
So
you started watching. You watched it, and I couldn't remember, but I'm glad you mentioned it's three
it's
parts.
3 parts because
And
I thought it was I thought it was like a one documentary.
yeah,
And then it
yeah. So did
said
I when I first saw
episode
it.
2, and I was like, "Fuck me! Is this a series? I mean, am I gonna be in?"
Yeah, right, right, right.
Hell, I gotta watch this now. Um,
Right, you paused it and go back, it's like, "What? Wait, how many episodes is
yeah.
this?"
And then I
Okay,
was like 3.
okay,
I
I
was
can
like,
do that.
"Okay, cool."
I can do that, I can do that.
So yeah, this lady was a bodybuilder,
Mhm,
and she married another bodybuilder. Both of them were Marines, and
mhm,
then they start doing steroids in the 90s. This was in the 90s. And
right.
he was on 5 different steroids and she was on one steroid. And
That just sounds crazy. That sentence right there just sounds
I
insane.
know.
Go ahead. I just couldn't help it. I couldn't let that go by with a go ahead.
I know. It's a
5
lot.
different
He was
steroids is an
huge
amazing
though.
oh,
This
yeah.
dude was
You've gotta be though,
freaking
right?
massive.
If you're on 5 different
Right.
steroids
And you're
and
not, you can get your
if
fucking
you
money
look like
back.
yeah, if you look like me on f and you're taking 5 different steroids, they are lying to you.
Right.
They
If you got this at the gas
1
station, chances are
right, 1
they're lying to you.
right, 1, why have you let it go on that long? 2, they're lying to you. You should be seeing you should be waking up with results if you're on 5 different steroids.
Right. Overnight.
You should you should be waking up scaring yourself, like, "Who wait, who are you?
Like,
Oh,
damn,
it's
it's
me.
me. That's
Oh,
all.
it's
Okay.
me. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he
Oh,
was big. He was
okay."
super
I did
big, and they were in an abusive relationship.
yeah.
It's fair to say that she was probably abusive to him in some ways, and he was abusive to her.
Mm,
Um, she claimed
yeah.
battered wife syndrome, which might be true.
Mm,
I don't know.
mhm, mhm,
Um, but in her military history, she had a lot of write ups and where she got physical and had violence toward
mhm,
people and stuff. So there is the possibility that she tried to be malicious, but we
right.
just don't know, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was, I guess this guy had another girlfriend and went to go spend some time with her on a Valentine's Day instead of the wife. And the wife didn't like it, and he came home and she got a shotgun and she shot him. And
Yeah.
for whatever led up to that, I don't know. I mean, we can speculate, but we don't have any
Yeah.
proof.
Because the story changed a lot, and for the sake of it, for the sake of the possibility that others go and watch it, we're giving you the very much the Cliff Note version of it. But yeah, a lot of details are in there because one of the things that Dinosaur was mentioning was about how
Did you say
it all came.
vaginasaur?
No, but now I will.
I was like, the
The
fuck? What?
dinosaur, the
Vaginasaur.
vaginasaur. Wow.
Ugh.
Now I have to admit, I'm trying to piece a visual together of what that would look like. But go ahead. So, I digress. So yeah, one of the details in that was that during this moment where everything comes to just a crescendo of violence, they already had 2 kids at that time,
And they were at the
and
house.
yeah, yeah, and they were present. And
And they knew
I
the
think that
history.
yeah, they were at the house, meaning they were present during the many toxic level of fights or arguments or
Him
being
choking
cold to
her.
one yeah being choking and it would be at parties and other people have witnessed it too, their friends as well, and their friends were bodybuilders also. But I think to your point, as the dinosaur was saying, is like, okay, well, she was on some, he was on some. I think the level of which his rage was getting was a little bit different than hers
But
because
everybody's different,
he's
and we don't know. It could have affected her a lot.
well, right. I'm just saying his would probably different because he
You'd
was on
think.
5 different
Yeah,
steroids.
you'd think so. You and
He was
I
on 5
do. I
different
think that he was probably more amped than her. But
yeah, well, there was that, and there was also that whole thing about how he was frustrated trying to
get out of the
win
marriage, or
well, just win it well, no, just win at all costs
oh sure.
at these different shows, and, we could sit back and point at, well, it was this going on and that going
I
on.
mean, it
The
was a
the
perfect storm, really.
right, the bottom line is they were they were starting to separate.
Well, he hadn't told her yet. She kind of
Right,
knew
but I'm
that
saying
he had a girlfriend, but he
yeah,
was telling his friends that he wanted to get a divorce and go and be with this other lady. Now, if
right,
he went
and
home and said, "Hey, I've been with this
mhm,
girl all evening. I really love her and I want to be with her and I think that we should get a divorce." I mean, that conversation could have happened, and then that would trigger her to go in, get the shotgun, 2 shells, shoot him,
yeah,
and then reload that motherfucker and then shoot him in the
yeah.
face.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that's where
The second shot.
the stories were getting a little bit were changing up because at first when she was like, "Oh," and albeit I'm not saying it didn't happen. He came after her, she feared for her life. She knew she couldn't hold him back.
Mhm.
Even her being a bodybuilder or not, she couldn't stop him and she went for the shotgun. She didn't just get it to get it. She got it after it was a back and forth, and then she either he went to choke her again or she remembered about the choking before. It's been a little bit since I've seen the documentary, but
She
in any
says that
case,
he choked her. He went to and he was attacking her and he was choking her.
right. And
Um,
so she goes and gets the shotgun, and that's where things get more blurry
right.
because he's coming after her. She shoots him,
But how do you
but then
get
the question is, huh?
if he's so amped on
Yeah.
steroids, then how does
Hmm.
he see that she's going to the bedroom where he knows the shotgun is and he knows that she's pissed and
Hmm.
she gets the shotgun and two bullets. Not I guess bullets. What do they call
Yeah, I
them?
mean, I think to the shells.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like, "Oh, you're gonna shoot me? You ain't gonna shoot me. That shotgun's been in there. Why are you gonna shoot me now? You're not
Oh,
gonna
right,
shoot
right,
me."
right, right.
You know, that kind of thing where you don't believe somebody is really gonna do it, and then when they do it, it's like, "What the fuck? You shot me? You shot boom. Oh, you shot me again." And then,
Right. Well,
and
the
she's
lamp
just in a rage
pattern,
herself.
the blood on the lamp, so like the forensics of the crime scene
Mhm.
showed or it proved that he was already on the floor and then
Right.
he was shot in the face because the blood
Right.
splatter was up under the lamp. Um,
Right.
what are
That's
the
what I was gonna get at.
lampshades?
It's like the fury that she's in, and I don't know what orgasm of emotions it
Oh,
is.
I
It's
can't even
like
imagine
you're like the fury of the fear of getting a shotgun, the fear of what is he gonna do next? Oh,
the
he's gonna be
fear.
super pissed
Oh yeah,
now.
if he
He
catches you,
he's gonna be super pissed now because I shot him. I gotta shoot him again. He's still moving, and she didn't. I mean, nobody would know if he's actually moving or if that's his nervous system just going absolutely
right? Well, he
bonkers.
didn't die until he got to
Oh,
the hospital. He didn't die in the
right,
ambulance.
right. He must be getting up again. Let me shoot him again. I'll shoot him in the
Well, could
face,
be. I mean,
and
hell, he was on
that's
so much.
rage. Yeah, but in the face, that's rage and anger right there.
That's personal. That's very personal.
I mean, a shotgun
To the
to the
face
face?
at very
You're
close range.
you're not you're I mean, there's there's a small degree of oopsie if you're shooting someone in the face with
Right. That
while they're laying
close.
on the ground porn prone.
The
Thanks, Freud.
dinosaur says
While they're
what?
laying yeah, right? While they're laying on the ground prone, you can't really miss. It's not like they're
You'd be a
running at you
bad fucking
bobbing and
shot if you
weaving.
missed that one.
Yeah, it's not like he was all over the place, and he was bliving and weaving and jumping and behind doors, and I just
Right.
shot, and he happened to come out, and it hit his head. No, he's laying on his back,
Right.
probably gasping,
Took a nap.
probably saying, "I can't believe you shot me, bitch," and then you just shoot him in the face.
Right. And oh my
And
God. I mean, her kids were there. So anyway,
yeah, kids are
she's
right there.
found not guilty for first degree murder and guilty for second degree. So she ends up going to jail for 19 to life.
Yeah,
Um, but I think she only does
yeah,
25 years. And she's out
yeah,
now, and she found a guy, and apparently they're doing well, and she got married. So it
yeah,
was interesting. I enjoyed the show, but what really got me was not the murder, and I know that sounds terrible, but it's the subculture
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of the bodybuilding and what all that entails.
No,
And I mean, they had
yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger on there, and they had
that's
what's that
yes.
one guy? Oh hell,
Ronnie Coleman?
maybe
I don't think Ronnie Coleman was on there.
no. A,
Lou Ferrigno?
yeah. I was gonna say, is it Italian?
So I'm glad that I don't know if I hope I didn't subconsciously sway you,
Did you
but
did you
I'm glad that
possess me?
yeah, right? I'm glad that jumped out as a thing because that was what jumped out to me, and then later when we were talking in, 24th to 25th episode about Muscle Mommies, it that's how I related to that as well because I saw that I had already seen that documentary and the subculture that goes along with it, and it was touching on those similarities in it. And so, because she married, if I remembering it correctly, she married one of her clients. Is that right?
Mm, mm-mm. No.
Like, like she was saying, one of the people. Well, one of the people she was okay. So of all the communities that she has been a part of that she appreciates the most, it's this community that she later got into, which was involved with the dudes
The
that like to be
schmoes
dominated and yeah and crushed and whatnot because they
like to be
I
wrestled and
thought it
whatnot. They're called schmoes.
yeah I thought it was one in particular, but basically
There's
they were the
not,
ones
but
that
they did send her bail money.
right. I was gonna say they were the ones that got her, the bail money. Yeah, and I thought one of the guys that have kept in contact with her is who she ended up being in a relationship when they got out. I could be
I don't
remembering it wrong,
I don't know.
but in any case, it's a very interesting thing because she just holds them to highest regard. Like
She's like loves him.
yeah, they're very true friends. She had, and I don't have anything negative to say. I don't have anything negative to say about it. Like we were saying earlier, it's not something I connect with.
Right. I
It's
don't
not
have
my
an opinion
thing.
on it.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but it was very interesting to see how she went through it and talked about it and talked about how that became her thing because she didn't have any other avenues in bodybuilding that she could go into whereas
Right.
at the time
And
her
they weren't
husband
paying.
could.
And
Yeah,
she
her
would make
husband
more
could
money
go.
as the wrestling
Right,
clients
right.
rather than actually doing bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah, and from what it was sounding like from her perspective, it was it was also more enjoyable because of the interaction with the people were more genuine, but then it was also like she didn't have to go through the rigors that she would normally have to have done for bodybuilding, like diet and working out all the time.
Right.
Yeah, it was a very interesting documentary, and then getting the perspective from her kids was um, pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, those poor kids. Yikes.
Yeah,
I mean, just
yeah, because
fuck.
they went through a lot.
Oh, they went through it for sure.
Yeah, they went through quite a bit, quite a bit.
So yeah, that was it. That was
Um,
good. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I watched it. Now,
yeah.
on to more important things.
Uh-huh.
How in the hell was Joe Dirt?
I know. It's like
It's if it's
when
not
you
your
were talking
jam,
about
I
how it's,
totally get it because it's not Laura's jam either. But I think that's
yeah,
fucking hilarious.
yeah, when you were talking about like it's your favorite, it's like okay, I all right. I'm just gonna go ahead and say,
It's
and
the
then I'll
best
get into the
cinematography that you've
review.
ever seen.
Right. So I didn't dig it as much.
That's okay.
I think I think that
You think it's a
I think
stoner
that
movie?
no. So I totally recognize it as an Adam Sandler movie. And
Okay.
I'm just never into those.
Is it an Adam
Except
Sandler
for
movie?
yeah, except for Gems. God, that was Uncle Jim's was great.
Uncle
That movie was
Jim.
fantastic. Gen no. So have you not seen ugh, I'm fucking up. Yeah, Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
Okay. I fully endorse that Adam Sandler movie. All the other Adam Sandler movies, I don't really care for. That one, yes, that is the type of movie that you see people that are known for one thing and they do something completely what they're not stereotypically known for,
Hmm.
and they fucking blow your mind.
Okay.
That that Uncut Gems is great. Anyway, um, I could not watch Joe Dirt without thinking of Emperor's New Groove. God damn it. I could I kept
Really?
yeah, because
The hair?
because hmm?
Because the hair?
No, no, because David Spade does the voice for the Emperor.
Oh, okay.
And I kept going, God damn it, come on, get that out of your head. So Joe Dirt, for those who haven't seen it, it's about a guy who is reflecting on the fact that he was his parents forgot about him at the Grand Canyon, which later he finds out that no, they didn't forget about you, dude. He goes on this journey, and he's basically he's at different stages of his life. Uh,
Trying to get back to his parents.
right, he's at different stages of his life, trying to figure out what happened, trying to then from there trying to figure out who his parents are, how to get back to them, so many things like that. So there, it's a very weird amalgamation of different things. There's a little bit of Little Big Man in there in regards to him going through different stages of his life and how he interacts with different people. And if you haven't seen Little Big Man, then that's a movie you might want to see. It's kind of an interesting, weird Western drama thing.
Oh.
But um, it's a funny take on a lot of different things because it gets kind of meta in some spots because you're looking at David Spade and you're just like, okay, who signed off on that? That's like the most ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous haircut. And then he says right there, "In dude, what's with your hair? Oh, it's a wig." And you're like, "Of course it's a fucking wig." And he's like, "Oh no, 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 it's a wig." But then they bring you back into the story, like you know it's a wig, and you know it, and
He's
it's
like, but
like,
it
yeah,
melted to
and
my
then
head.
and the character recognizes it. Oh yeah, yeah. He agrees with
Oh
you
yeah, no,
in
it's a
the
wig.
sense of the dialogue. Yeah, it's a wig, and then they bring you right back into the character version of that of the wig in the movie, and he goes into this explanation of how he's got this condition and it's basically fused to his head,
Right.
which doesn't make sense because then it shows him as a kid, and it's like clearly they've been changing this wig out for some parts of his life because it's grown to his head,
Well, he had a
but
haircut.
in any case, it talks about a lot of different things of the the loser finding purpose, and it's like a little mixture of Little Big Man and Forrest Gump, and because he's meeting all these people and these fantastical things happen. He gets the car of his dreams for, whatever the money he had in his pocket, and the whole time he's telling his story while in a radio station. He's on the radio.
By
Play
accident.
the Yeah, he gets in there on accident
He's a
because
janitor.
the guy that's producing the radio show happens to bump into him while he's being bullied in the hallway as a janitor, and he's like, "Oh, dude, your hair," and he's just captivated by his hair and his name, which he tries to fancy it up and be
Joe
Joe Dirte,
Dirte.
but it's not Dirte,
It's
it's
just
just
Joe
Dirt.
Dirt.
So Dennis Miller's playing the radio personality, talk show personality, and he is just taken in to just
Completely
completely,
fascinated.
yeah, by this guy, and he is just like, he just puts it on autopilot. If I just let this dude talk, my show is gold. And he's got people listening all over the place, basically, infatuated and just completely engrossed in this story that Joe Dirt is telling. So
And
I
Joe's trying to
watched
find
the movie.
Brandy, and how can he find Brandy? And
Yeah,
let's talk
I,
about Brandy
I
for just a damn minute.
yeah, I watched the movie. So you get to a part where you're following Joe, and he's doing this and he's doing that and he's going different places, and he's talking about things from his perspective, but people are seeing a retelling of it. So he's talking about things from his perspective to the radio talk show host, and then the viewer of the movie seeing it played out from how things really went down. But Joe is telling you from his perspective. And it gets to a part of the story where he talks about how I once had a dog. And it's like, oh, you had a dog with you? Yeah, I once had a dog. And it's like he totally starts that story off without even mentioning the fact that's where he meets Brandy.
Right. And who Brandy is.
Uh,
Holy shit.
right. The whole thing with Brandy, it's typical what the fuckness going on with the whole dog's testicles being stuck to the
And using a
floor.
spatula to pry him off.
Right. And it's like if there's any way a dog's nuts can stretch that far, it would not recoil back.
Right.
So there's a serious amount of suspending of, you know, rationale and everything before watching this. But he meets Brandy, who in a lot of these types of films, Brandy's the character that loves Joe for Joe. She doesn't want him to be anything other than himself, and the fact that he is himself, she loves him.
But
And
he doesn't know that because he's so blind,
right, right, exactly, and that's what I was gonna say.
which is
And
crazy to me. But
it's typical as it is, and as crazy as it is for the viewer and everybody that's listening to Joe's story, who everyone that's listening to Joe's story can see right through it and know exactly Brandy's a genuine love interest for Joe. He is completely oblivious to it.
right, but his whole
And
shtick is that he's trying to look for her. He's trying to get back to her because that's his best friend.
well, eventually, yes, but at the same time, at that moment, Joe is just looking for, hey, we hang out, we relate, we're friends. All right, cool. But he's still, I'm focused on finding my parents.
Yes.
And so, but Brandy, now that he is melded with the family being her dad and Brandy and the dog, he's there and he's standing up to the town bully who's played by Kid Rock. And he's always antagonized by that guy. Um, and just when you think that he and Brandy are about to find each other, basically Brandy's already found him. Now you're thinking Joe's about to realize that Brandy's there, he decides he needs to go off and find his folks still. And that somebody's going to find her, and she's going to make a great wife,
Wife
and she's going to
to
have a great
someone else
husband.
who's going to be the luckiest
Yeah.
person in the world.
And Brandy's looking at him like,
You're an idiot.
you really don't know what's going on
Like, you're
here.
really that
Okay.
clueless. I'm in love with
Like,
you.
yeah, she's like, because at first she's looking at him like, haha, yeah, okay, yeah, jokey jokes. And then she's just like, wait, no, you really are that vacant in the head. Okay,
And then she found
okay.
it endearing.
Yeah.
So you liked it? No, I mean, I guess you
No, I
understood it,
watched
but
it.
it wasn't
Yeah,
like
no,
you
no,
were
I watched
cracking up, right?
I wasn't cracking up. I was just like, some parts I was laughing about it because I was like, okay, come on. Come on. No. You're gonna get in. So you're gonna get in the inflated tooth balloon. Okay. Okay. Like I watched it. At no point I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn this off and just sell it. I'm gonna be on the next episode like, oh yeah, I watched it. Joe Dirt, it was great, man. No, I fucking watched it, and so the the twist of it all, and if you haven't seen it, then fuck off. You haven't seen it, but
If you haven't seen it, you're
you know,
past your time. I mean, Jesus, when was this
yeah.
made?
So the other,
2001.
yeah. So the other thing is, if you like, if you like one of the greatest actors, thespians of all time, yeah. If
Hmm.
you if you like one of the unbelievable talents of our
There's
existence,
only one person that you can say that will make me be okay with it. So go ahead.
Christopher Walken.
Yes, of course. Hello.
Yeah,
He's
Christopher Walken. If you happen to find it, yeah, he is amazing.
amazing. You're coming at him all
Amazing.
wrong. Just fucking
Yeah, he's
great.
wrong. Yeah,
You're talking to my guy.
he's amazing. I love Christopher Walken.
Me too.
There was a show out one time. I don't know if it went past one episode, but it was called Cooking with Christopher Walken. It was just fucking crazy. But yeah, he's in the movie, and you gotta. It's like, yeah, you gotta watch it. If you just like watching anything with Christopher Walken in it, then definitely watch it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because you wouldn't expect him to play the character that he's playing, but it works.
right,
He
right,
just makes it happen because he's
right,
magic.
right.
He's
I,
total
I,
magic.
yeah, he's always total. I don't know of
I
certain
know.
things that he's not magic, but he's total magic in all things that is walking.
If it's
Um,
walking, it's walking.
yeah, yeah, right. I think though that other than he gets to the point where he's involved, and they love Joe as well, and eventually you get to realize what the truth is behind him and his parents, behind Joe Dirt and his parents, um, what really happened, and what really transpired at the Grand Canyon.
Mm, mm.
Um, so yeah, I think it was one of those. I think it's one of those movies that it's like the kooky tale movie that goes on. I like David Spade. I like Christopher Walken. So for that,
I
I
like
really
that
enjoyed it.
chick.
But Brandy, though,
Mm.
Brandy was the dark horse that came out of nowhere. I was not prepared for Brandy.
Yet I
Um,
was
Brittany,
giddy.
Brittany Daniel, I'm talking about you, and I know you're married. I know you.
Respect,
I
baby
know you
girl.
got.
Okay, respect. But if
I,
you go and show that on TV, I can have
yeah,
the thoughts I have.
I know you got a twin sister, and that makes it even more difficult.
Mm, mm.
Um, and I know, fuck it, I know too many things about. I mean, again, thank you, internet. But I probably sound like I'm in the bushes right now.
You're
So,
such a fucking creep.
yeah,
But I'm over here
yeah.
like,
But it's like, yeah, right. As I'm texting you about it, you're like, and I'm like, but I'm the creep. Okay, got it. So
right. Sorry,
totally
I mean no
understand.
disrespect.
Totally,
I'm sorry.
totally understand. No, it's also weird. It's super super weird when you have identical twins, and because then you look at it's like, wait,
Wait, you're
oh
the
wow, it's two of them exactly alike. How does that
and they
happen?
could they could fuck with you and trip things up and switch out and
Yeah, yeah.
have you ever been
So
with a twin?
no,
No. Oh, you sound so disappointed.
because I am. That's literally because I
Okay.
am.
I can
Um,
try to set something up.
I
I mean, I don't know what they're
yeah,
gonna
but
look like, but I have to go with
oh
something cheap.
Jesus. Well, I hope alike. I hope they look alike.
No, they're twins.
I hope it's
You're like, really?
yeah, I hope it's not. Here is Lisa
Tammy and Pammy.
and Cam Cam Cameron? Cameron. They're identical twins. In what fun and I'm like, "In what fun house? Because they look nothing alike.
Right.
What fun house
They're not.
mirror am
They're
I
no. They're
supposed to be
not
looking at?
identical twins. They're
They're
twins.
identical. If you close both your eyes, they're
Can you
identical.
squint that one a little bit more?
Yeah, close one completely and squint the other. Uh,
Drink
yeah,
three beers and you're there.
I've not I've never dated a twin.
I've never dated a
And
twin.
I've never dated a twin. I've never dated an identical twin. I've never dated a twin knowing that they were a twin. I might have dated someone that is a twin and didn't know. I don't fucking know.
Right.
But
I may have
I
not
never
dated them, just met them.
right. I never have and I never have had any sexual relationship with a
There you
twin
go.
or or twins,
Mm.
which would be interesting on several levels
Or
now that I think
triplets.
about it.
That's far too much
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, no multiple people. I don't even know if that's a category, but it seemed like it works out enough for me. No multiple people.
Got it.
No
Wait, hold on.
twins
Let me write
or
that. Let me just hold on. Just let me type that up. Okay.
yeah, like I don't even what do you call it? Twins, triplets, quadruplets. What do they call
Multiples.
like
It would be multiples, I guess.
identical people? Identical people? It sounds so clinical. Um,
Well,
it sounds, but yeah, that would be a weird thing, though. I think it would
agreed.
be weird,
Yes, it would be very weird because you got to
especially if it's
remember
all.
they're
Well,
related.
if it's at the same time, like,
Right. They can, now,
it's
if you
like,
were dating a twin and they wanted to
yeah,
switch it up and they did so without you knowing it and you really couldn't
yeah,
tell, like if both of
yeah.
them were dating you, that
Okay,
is made for movies.
that might be a movie already exists out
You
there,
think
and it might
so?
be different ways. It
Christopher
might be
Walken,
certain.
listen to me, okay? Listen,
Yeah,
you can do this.
yeah. It might be a different media source. Like you can look at that movie.
Like you mean like
Uh,
VHS?
yeah, maybe. But I think though that yeah, if I'm in a relationship with an identical twin and I didn't know, like, if I didn't know they were an identical twin, like they hadn't even introduced me to their family yet,
Right.
and they just said, let's fuck with this dude because that's, they're twins. They like to do
Diabolical,
that. I don't
of
know.
course.
I don't know. I I find it hard to think that you could hold that against the person
Oh, no, no, no. I don't think you can
because
hold
they
it
wouldn't
against right,
know. They don't
exactly.
know. They didn't know that the doppelgangers love to fuck with people's minds.
Right.
They didn't know. Now, if you are if you're in a relationship with a twin and you meet the family, you're like, oh yeah, it's so great to meet you. I heard you were identical twins, and that's great to finally meet. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You two look exactly alike, and then somewhere along the lines, the other twin says, "Yeah, I want to get with you, and that's our thing. We love to share." Like what? Like yeah, that might be where you turn the knob a little all the way up on the
I'd be scared of
crazy meat.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
because
be scared of that.
then if you get the meter and you crank it all the way to the right, if it's all at the same time,
Nope, that won't
then
happen. That knob doesn't even go that way. It just doesn't.
then it's bizarro because you're like, even for someone, and I'm just speaking for myself, even if it's for someone that it's their their thing, they're like, yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with two women or whatever.
Well, it might be good
It's
with 2
still
women if they're related.
it's it's still yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's
Ugh.
still a little bit different when two of them are guaranteed to be at the Thanksgiving table.
Pass the gravy. Well, you
Like
did. Sorry,
like
never mind.
right, exactly. Oh, that's a good one. Good one, good one, good one. Like if like you might be in or out of that relationship, but two of them will always be
Right.
at that Thanksgiving
Yeah,
table.
no thanks. Appreciate
Two
that.
of
I'm
them
good though.
yeah, two of them will always be exchanging gifts, always having birthday cake together.
Yeah,
And so,
always having the same DNA.
yeah, so it's kind of like, huh, if I don't, and I can say no, and then give me 2 years, and I might be like, I don't give a
You know
fuck.
what? I just don't
Uh,
care. If you're in it, I'm in it. It's
I'm
fine.
good. Um, yeah, right now though, that's an interesting, weird, I don't know, predicament because you're like sister fucking right there. You're just you and if you only
Aw.
got and if you only got one candle lit, you don't know which one is the sister. You're just
Oh,
like, well, you're sisters, but I'm dating one of you,
and I'm
so that means the other's a sister, but you're identical, so fuck.
right.
It's it's like it's like I'd have to send you the article, but it and maybe we've talked about it. I don't know if we have, but there was an article that I read, and I'm totally admitting that the reason why I read it was the fact that it was saying that these kids were brothers and sisters. What the fuck did I call them? They're brothers. They're brothers and cousins. Yeah, their kids are siblings and cousins at the same time. And
Really?
what happened? Yeah. So what happened is these two identical dudes met these two identical chicks at a twin convention, which twin convention just sounds a bucket of what the fuck no matter what. It's
Yeah.
like yeah. So anyway, twin dudes, identical twin chicks, and they marry.
So 2 sets of twins
Yes. So
marry.
the twin dudes and they married one each.
Right, right,
Okay,
right.
so one twin dude, one twin chick, one twin the other twin dude, the other twin chick. So they married, not like a commune married.
Right.
They're a
2 separate
separate couple,
relationships, right.
right, of two identical twins, which makes their kids brother and sister and cousins at the same time
What?
because they're identical. That means
Oh,
their
you're
DNA is
right.
identical.
Sheesh.
And the parents are like just smiling and hugging and like, oh fuck, man,
Wow.
how big is that can of worms you just fucked open? Like you didn't
Yikes.
even open it. You all fucked it open. You literally fucked. And now the can of now the can of worms is open now. Because now you know the kids are gonna like celebrate that for a little bit until somebody in elementary school, fifth grade or junior high is gonna just say, oh, you're fucking
Your
it's your brother and
cousin.
sister, your cousins, your brother cousins, your sister cousins, because your dad and mom fucked each other, fucked.
Mm,
They're gonna deform it in some sort of way that makes absolutely the situation worse.
right.
But genetically, yeah, that's how it works. They're genetically brother and sister, or whatever the kids are, all boys, all girls, whatever the fuck. But they're genetically considered brother and sister, and by marriage, they're cousins.
It's insane. That kind of bends my brain in a way that it's not used to.
Yeah,
The way they think
it
about
does.
it, to work out the math. That's like whenever
Yeah.
somebody goes, "Oh, she's my cousin twice removed," and I'm like,
Oh,
"I
that
don't fucking
bullshit.
what is
Oh,
she a twice
that
baked
bullshit.
potato?" I mean, that's the only
So
thing I
it's
can think
funny.
of.
Yeah, it's funny because I figured that out one time. I was working someplace and somebody else had that same conundrum. They couldn't figure it out, and so we're like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna fuck the project. We're gonna we're gonna work on what
This
does that
family
mean."
tree.
Like we went in a meeting room, and no, we had like a group meeting area. We commandeered the dry erase board on there. We just like, okay, so here's this dude and he's with this chick and they have this many kids, and then his brother has
And you
this
figured
chick
it
and they
out?
have this. Yeah, and we figured it out.
Oh.
Now I can't tell you specifically how it is now, because it's one of those things that when you learn it, you try and go back and understand the math that got you to the answer, and you're like, ah, fuck it, it made sense at the time, but right now I can't.
No, I
I
tried to
all
map
I
it
can.
out too, but I couldn't ever. My brain wouldn't allow me to go there, and I don't understand what that block was.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, it's a weird thing to where it's generational. Uh, it's like they're your cousin, but they're your cousin by way of someone else who really was their first cousin, but it's your second cousin, twice removed generationally. It's a weird kind of thing. Honestly, that's why I always just say someone's my cousin and I leave it at that. I really don't have the desire to connect the dots that way,
Right.
because in the end, we're not gonna hang out anyways. Fuck it. You know? It's like I really don't like if people that I know are related in some way, then I say, oh, we're cousins. Okay, great. But I'm not having you sleep over at my place. I mean,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? That doesn't give you keys to the kingdom. And then what? Like my uncle was notorious, and this sounds weird, so let me go ahead and just say it. I'll clean it up. But he was notorious for dating his cousins because he was like he didn't know they were related.
Oh, really?
Because- Yeah, well, you're in a small town, you don't know, and
Like, he wasn't
you're
paying
just like,
attention. That's what that was.
well, no, it was like this person knows this person. Oh yeah, because we're related. Really? How? Well, you because this is your grandparents and this that, but that's my dad's brother. I'm like, what? How would I know that? How would I know that? Only people that have to pass the census along on a piece of parchment from door to door keeps up with shit like that.
Ye old parchment.
Yeah, only people that literally get a family a tree ring to figure out their family tree bullshit. That's the only people that really figure that shit out. But
Genealogists.
yeah, now it's easier, right?
Oh, yeah,
Now it's
because there's like
easier.
ancestry.com and there's
You
also
s-
DNA testing.
yeah, you spit in a vial, and then it comes back with all this bullshit that you're never gonna apply. You're never going to. Oh, you're West African. Great. That means what?
Right. I
What
used to
what
be
does
a
that mean?
Viking. That actually makes sense
What?
for me.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Okay. And so you're related to some Scandinavian, Norwegian, Viking, whatever the fuck. What does that mean? Can you go back and claim some of that shit? Is there a throne
No,
waiting
it
for
just
you?
explains
No.
my behavior sometimes because I
No,
can
I
be a
get that.
brute.
I mean, I get that
I'm a dinosaur,
that
damn it.
there's I get that there's some sort of connections in that regard, but I think a lot of times people get really, ooh, I'm 33% Japanese. Okay, cool.
Right. Does
And
that make you a
that
samurai?
means
No.
right. That means what? You're supposed to know the language, or you are really good with
You should only know
udon?
33% of it.
Yeah, udon. Yeah, right. Yeah, like I want to
The
learn
math
the
seems to
language, but
work out for me.
right. I want to learn the language, but I can only cap off at 33% of the language. I can't learn any more than that. Or like
Right.
what? It's like some people just, and the one that gets me the most is the irony mixed with a little bit of hypocrisy of people that claim indigenous origins or
Okay.
of
Okay. I'm
indigenous
so
people.
glad that you said that because I have a story for you. Did you know about my dad?
No, no, but I'm about to find out.
Okay, listen, we're going to need to bump the bedtime journal and lucid dreaming segment to the
Oh
next
yeah, yeah.
show. Okay,
Update
let's
on that.
just do that
Yeah.
because I've
Here's
got to tell you
here,
this. And I,
here's just a really quick update on that. I suck at it. Okay,
oh, I'm
proceed.
really good at it, and I'm helping you
Oh, I'm
process
I'm
things.
I'm I'm horrible. Proceed.
I now do. I give myself 1 hour. So if we get off the pod right now, I won't go to sleep until 1 hour has passed. And during that time, I'll be journaling and listening to classical music, and it's really
You are,
helped me.
and we're gonna hold that to episode 29 because you sound like you are way better off than
Yeah,
me.
and
I want to know all
I
about.
need to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? I just need to keep
Yeah,
doing it.
I want to know all about your dad and his indigenous past. So
Okay. Okay, I cannot believe that we've never talked about this before, but y'all are in
no,
for a
no.
fucking treat.
Oh,
Let me tell you.
we're about to get it today.
So, when I was growing up, ever since I was tiny, there
Yeah.
has been this a picture in the hallway because that's how they did back in the time. The whole hallway was family pictures.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
there was an Indian, a Native American.
Oh shit. I
Okay,
don't know if I need to choke or fart right now. Jesus, I'm laughing so
so
hard.
the um, and she was my great 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 grandmother. So 5 greats. Okay, great 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 great. Okay, cool.
She was wait.
My great.
Hold on. I was drinking and trying not to choke on the mic. She was your great what?
She was my 5 greats. So she was
Okay,
my
that made
great,
it
great, great,
great.
great, great grandmother.
Okay,
Now,
this person that's in the hallway is your great
yeah,
five
the
great
picture
grandmother.
of this person is my,
Right.
and her
Got it.
name is Ida Mae Turner. Okay, that's that's what I knew. But
Yeah.
of course, I don't fucking know. I can't time travel, so I can't go verify.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how to verify it. I tried to go and look through the rolls and stuff, but I didn't find anything. And
Okay.
then my dad, I think, well, I know that he was looking through the rolls because I got some of his paperwork and stuff. Um,
Uh-huh.
my stepdad brought it over to me, and it
Yeah.
was looking up Cherokee rolls. So this lady in this picture was supposed to be 100% Cherokee Indian,
Mm-hmm.
and she was my one of my great grandmother's ancestor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So my dad, my dad told me this our whole lives, and the
Mm-hmm.
day after my dad died, the fucking day after, my brother and I went to a pizza place, one of my dad's favorites,
Okay.
and just to, step away from the family,
Commemorate.
just to get a break, take, whatever. And
Yeah.
that's when he told me, he said something, and I was like, that's our Native American ancestry right there. And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
are you kidding me? And I was like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean? And he was like, dude, we're not Native American. And I was like, yeah, we are. He's like, no, we're not. And I was like, yeah, no, we are. Because we have a great, 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 great grandmother. And she was 100% Cherokee Indian. He was like, no, we don't. I don't know where dad got that or who told him that, but we're not fucking Cherokee. I mean, it'd be cool if we were, but we're not. And he was like, we're Scottish and Irish. I was like, what?
No.
I was
Say,
like,
oh my God.
what? And he's telling me that he was got in touch with somebody called him and was trying to do the lineage, and
Yeah.
they traced it back, and there's no way to put this Ida Mae Turner, this person, or any Cherokees in that line. So it was unfounded. And I think that my dad was trying to figure it out, or he did try, and then he realized he
Yeah.
couldn't get anywhere, so he stopped. But there was
Yeah.
this one person that called my brother or reached out to my brother and said, "Hey, I'm doing this, blah 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 blah," and
Mm-hmm.
it couldn't work out the math or whatever it is that
Yeah.
you have to do. So, and then Chris got my brother's name is Chris. He got
Mm-hmm.
the DNA test, and it showed him, what he was. Now, not to say that there couldn't be an Irish person, Irish descent, that came to the States and then adopted a Cherokee lifestyle. That's
Okay.
possible.
Yeah. Happened. Yeah.
Right.
Happened.
But this person in the picture looked like they were Cherokee. I mean, they
Yeah.
looked
It
like
yeah.
they were earthly.
Yeah. Like this person took the adoption serious. If they came from
If that's
Ireland,
what it was. But she
they
didn't look
they went
Irish.
for it.
She didn't look
Yeah.
Scottish.
They were very committed. They went
Right.
right in. Yeah.
Right. So unless this was done on April Fools or it was a Halloween picture,
Right.
we're not
Jesus
Cherokee.
Christ.
And my whole I was looking for scholarships for Cherokee descendants.
Yeah, you were.
Of course
Yes,
I
absolutely
was.
you were. You were like,
I was
man,
like, okay, I'm left-handed. I'm Cherokee. My dad's got red hair.
you're about to
I'm
get all of
dyslexic.
them left-handed.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I got ADD.
Swoop
I
up.
like the color blue.
I'm gonna swoop up all this money.
Right.
I'm
Nothing.
getting the left-handed money.
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh man, that's hilarious. So wait, so you're telling me you I mean, I can't talk for shit. Okay. I really can't talk for shit. I grew up with they had pictures of people in the house that, this is your great grandfather. Oh, okay. This
Right.
is your great
Cool.
great grandfather. Oh, okay. And it's just people in those stereotypical oval pictures
Uh,
with wood frame,
yeah, for sure.
chipped away from some oak that some Amish person made, whatever. And then and then a picture of Jesus and a picture of Elvis and a
Right.
picture of Martin Luther King Jr. And that was it. That's
You
all the
said
people that I
Jesus,
was related.
Elvis, and Martin Luther King?
That's who I was related to. Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
one of them had to be on a church fan. Well, at least two of them, Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesus, probably was also on a church fan that was always with us. Not Elvis so much, but at least the other two. And
A
and then
church
maybe,
fan?
yeah, like a fan you would have in church that you would fan yourself when it was hot.
Oh, we just use the little handouts.
No, fuck that. No, you got to have a picture on it. It was either that and then
It's
on the
BYO.
right. Yeah, yeah, because you bring it yeah, you would bring it all the time, and
Yeah.
then the other
It
big
has a little
picture that would
sheath it
be in the
goes
house.
into. Totally.
Nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah, fuck it. It would get a crease up and everything, and then you get a new one. But, yeah, the only other big picture that would be in the house would probably be The Last Supper, which okay, fine, whatever, some more Jesus stuff.
Right, right, right.
Um,
At least they were eating good
so
food.
I never had, like, um, a lineage thing to where it went back further than that. I was one of the family members that always knew where um, the family came from, but never really like dove into it to get names. And So I knew of like the migration of the family, not necessarily like, oh, this person's name this person's name that. I didn't really I didn't really care to get into it because it was like I've gone to different family reunions and they were always shit shows. And I was like, okay, I really don't. And then I leave and I never know who those people are. I never come around them again. I'm
Sure.
like, okay, well, whatever.
You're like, and then
But
if I happen to remember, do I ask? Because they're gonna be like, "Oh no, they died," and you're like,
right,
"Oh,
did I
okay."
see you? Did I see you at the
That's
family reunion?
Are we?
Huh.
Are
But
you
it was
sure we're
always interesting.
cousins?
Right.
Did
It
you want
was
to get some
always
coffee
interesting.
later?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where do you go from that? Want to get coffee? Yeah,
Coffee's
cousin.
good,
Let's go.
yeah.
And then
Okay.
everyone, and then you're calling each other cousin, and it just sounds so just
Bet you're hooking
generic.
up.
Yeah, right. But
No, I'm just
what?
like,
It's like you want to just like, oh yeah, and you're trying to reach out for these weird connections that don't ever pan out. Um, so it's always interesting though for me when people like try to find this connection with American Indians and other indigenous people, First Nation, however you want to categorize yourself, that's fine. Especially when, and I know you went down this journey, but I'm still going to say it,
no, go ahead.
especially when you're Caucasian as fuck.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
no,
just sort of, you're just
for
sort of
sure.
like, there's zero. I can't see it.
Like there's no part of me.
I really can't see any melanin in this person, but they want to be Blackfoot so bad. They've got feather tattoos and a howling
Fuck
wolf on their
yeah.
back. They
They named themselves the Lone Wolf,
oh,
okay?
you can't walk through their house without hitting a dream catcher. They are
Like,
so
they will hit you in the face. It just needs you to
they are
know that it's there.
they are holding on to that 5% or whatever is legal for them to claim or whatever. And that's the part where I'm like, it's super ironic or in and the hypocrisy of it all is like where you have a nation of people swindled, beaten, killed, just ravaged for their land and
So
people
terrible.
in general. But then as soon as there's a value where like I can get a discount for it,
Right, then they're like, "Okay."
here, take my blood, semen, spit, whatever you need. What's the amount? Oh, is it 14% and I get benefits? Cool. Let's go. The higher the better. The higher the
Right.
better. It's so weird that people that now a certain ethnicity of people have a value to where you want to claim it. And I'm saying that with family members that I know of, there, specifically that are like, yeah, we're benefiting from that. Like in their house, they have pictures solely so no one can refute it.
Right.
And it's just like it's
It's
so
kinda it's
bizarro.
kinda I mean, I don't think that my dad did this on purpose, but essentially, in a way, that's what he did.
Yeah,
But it was because he
yeah,
just believed that that was true. I mean, he
yeah. No,
didn't there
I
wasn't
think that
malice intent,
yeah.
of course, but, I mean, it's still it's kinda the situation. And I was just like, "Are you kidding?" Like that
No,
my dad,
yeah.
like, I got punked the day after my dad died.
In any case, great, great,
So
great
that was a full
campfire
episode.
story. Uh, I enjoyed it. It was great.
That's how
Yes,
my dad punked me
the
from,
story of your
from
dad punking
beyond.
you, hilarious. We have to get into some more, but I think right now the electronic universe is telling us, hey, it's the end of the episode. So let's let that exist, and it's the end of this episode.
Let's let
Yes.
sleeping
So
dogs
in any
lie,
case,
as they say.
wherever you are and however you're doing, I really feel like now's the time for us to tell you we love you and we appreciate you listening. We
We do
appreciate
love
you
you.
listening. We appreciate you being a part of the episode 28 of The Dinosaur and the Dude. And as always, she's the dinosaur.
That's me.
And I'm the dude. And thank you all for joining us.
Woo, woo.
Thanks for the time. Love you. And
Love you too. We'll do it
check
again.
you later. Yeah,
We should do it
yeah,
again.
yeah. I feel like we should do it again. Yeah.
Okay,
let's
maybe
do it
we'll
again.
talk later. Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Okay. Bye.
Do we hang up now, or what are we doing?
I mean, we can, but
Are you recording still?
I mean, yeah, because apparently